Five, four, three, two. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Pure Evil MMA. I have a very special guest with us here again today for the second time here on Pure Evil MMA. Who actually has an upcoming fight on the 17th of November, so we're just a couple of days away, really. I mean, it's the 6th, or about 11 days out. We got Devin Powell joining us. What's going on, Devin? How you doing?
Doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome, man. It was a wild weekend over at Cage Titans, which you're very familiar with. Some of the people over at your gym got to fall and actually came on the show, like Navis. So whenever Joe's gym gets a win, the East Coast goes crazy.
Yeah, it was a pretty awesome weekend for sure. It's cool being a part of all that, you know.
Yeah, and I've been saying, like, Cage Titans puts on such a great event. I mean, it's perfect for like these young guys, especially the amateurs, to kind of get a feel of what it's going to be like when you get towards the bigger shows. So what do you think the biggest difference, between going through a promotion like that to the UFC? What's the biggest change there that, takes you by surprise?
It's honestly, it's just, bigger cage, bigger lights. When I first fought in the UFC, Joe Lozon, I saw him because he was fighting the same night, and it was before we trained together. He just told me, he's like, hey, I just kept my head down, and walked out there, and the lights are bigger, and the cage is bigger, and that's it. And that's kind of been my mentality. It's really not that much different, a good martial artist, as long as you're smart with your career and you work hard, it's just time. You put in the time, you get the fights. If you're ups and downs, almost everybody has their ups and downs. There's been, one Ultimate Fighter that was like the undefeateds or something. Like, you got to just keep working. The Cage Titans, you'll have guys that can beat guys that are in the UFC for sure. It's just a matter of putting in the time and then getting your shot and then keeping your composure once you get to that next level. But they're putting out tremendous fights and fighters, so it's really not too much different. And that stadium's electric. It's pretty amazing inside there.
Well, the reason why I ask you, first off, did you have an opponent change? Is this official that you had an opponent change for the 17th?
Yeah, it was like a little under a month ago my opponent changed.
And this is actually going to be your opponent's debut, who actually is on a 6-fight winning streak, Jesus Pinedo. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right. What was your debut like? What's that feeling like when you finally get that chance to debut? Is the octagon jitters a real thing?
I didn't have the best debut. I lost a unanimous decision. I didn't feel great out there, but I don't think that I was training the way I am now, and it wasn't out of me not wanting to be prepared. It was just not realizing how much more prepared I could be. That being with skill of strength and cross-training with those guys on sparring Saturday at Joe Lozon's, and I fought a killer. I fought Jakar Close, who's Ben Henderson's, golden boy, he's a killer, and I just went in there and I got held against the wall and stalled out for pretty much 15 minutes.
So what do you know about this opponent that you have? I mean, it's got to be weird to have an opponent change. I mean, a couple of weeks out. I mean, what was it? What'd you say? A month ago this happened. So, what do you know about Jesus?
It's been almost a month that we've known. Yeah, he's different. I don't think his jiu-jitsu's quite as good. I think he's more of a finisher and more of a striker. They were both lefties and they're both pretty long. One was 6 foot. This guy's 6 foot. My last guy was 5'11". They're teammates and they're both Peruvian, so they're pretty similar, So I'm not too worried about it. I got to focus on myself and doing the things that I'm capable of and shut down what he's good at.
Well, you're going to be traveling a pretty far distance. Is this your first time over in that area? Because that's got to be really exciting.
Yeah, I'm super excited. And I'm trying not to worry about the flight because we've got as long as I try and plan it right and not nap after training and all of that and just exhaust myself. I'm going to hop on the plane after my last training day at Joe Lozon's gym on Saturday, and then we're flying overnight. So I think I can time it right so that I pretty much just get my night's sleep on the plane and then get to Buenos Aires on my day off from because Sunday's usually my rest day, and just kind of see the place, get around a little bit, burn some calories walking, and enjoy a little bit of food, and then get to that weight cut.
So I got to ask you this before we talk any more about the fights. What's going to be going on with the pig? Who's going to be watching the pet pig? For people out there that don't know, Devin actually has a little baby pig at home, which is pretty interesting, man. I mean, first off, before we even talk about that, like how did this happen? How'd you get convinced to get a pig? How did this come about?
I've wanted one since I was a teenager, and basically we decided that once our older dog passed away, which we weren't expecting it to happen at all. She was 12, and she seemed real healthy, and just some things happened. She passed away. It was terrible, but I decided that I was going to make sure it happened right when I got home from my fight, because I didn't want our dog to be alone. He needs a companion to sleep with at night when we go up in the attic. So I got in touch with a certified dealer for mini pigs, and I made sure that it was like certified for size, and that it wasn't going to be a 500-pounder inside our little 600 square foot camp in Maine. And we got her, and she came a couple days after we got home from the fight. She's been with us ever since. She's on my lap right now as I'm talking to you, coming home from Skill of Strength training.
That's interesting, because I've heard a lot of people say that they can be really loud and squeak. How's this one? Is it quiet, calm, cool, and collected, or how's it treating you?
Right now she is very quiet. She's just kind of sitting on my lap, doing nothing. When she wants to be, she's very loud.
Yeah.
But usually she just kind of sits and kind of honks to herself and does her own thing. But she's sweet. She's pretty great.
Well, I know that pigs are really smart. So how does she get along with the dog? Do they actually play? Like, does the pig think it's a dog like Babe?
The pig and the dog don't play that much. They kind of just exist together. They just kind of snuggle up next to the heater and hang out. They're definitely buddies, but the pig's pretty lazy. A lot more lazy than I was expecting. She doesn't play much. She pretty much just wants to eat and snuggle.
That's got to be one crazy experience, especially with the little one. How's the little one enjoying having a pet pig? Are all the friends come over playing with it? I mean, I think this is so interesting. I don't know anyone with a pet pig.
Yeah, I think she gets a kick out of it for sure. Not many people have pigs that are pets. Some people raise them to eat them, but this one we're definitely not going to be doing that. But yeah, she talks about it all the time, and all of her friends want to see her and stuff.
Yeah, man. Like, honestly, I'm a huge pet lover. I love animals. I got pet rats and stuff like that. Are you against eating ham now because you own a pig? Like, you kind of feel weird about that?
Yeah, I actually I haven't really eaten any pig products since I was like 14. I stopped eating meat when I was like a freshman in high school, and then once I was like 20, maybe like 22 or so, I started eating wild fish, and then probably the last 5 years now I've eaten wild game, and that's pretty much it. My whole family is up Maine in Allagash, and they have hunting camps, so I eat anything that's hunted, but I try not to eat factory farmed animals.
So as we move on with this interview, I had some people in the Pure Evil MMA chat room want to ask you some questions. Were you involved with a movie or something? Some sort of production?
Yeah, it was there was a Mark Wahlberg movie that a few of us went down and did a little bit of filming and stuff for. I just did a little bit of like stunt work. Me and Nicky Gall were sparring in one scene, and then one of Cerrone's coaches, Hector Munoz, him and I were doing an MMA fight in the background while Marky Mark's having some dialogue with another character, one of the main characters from Black Panther.
Wow.
So yeah, it was cool. I've always loved movies, and I've done a few other little tiny things. Like I was an extra on Here Comes the Boom. I have this. If you want to go and dig up some YouTube videos, I was a comic book superhero from this comic book called Unit 5, and it was called Drift. You type in Unit 5 Drift, you'll find it. It's actually kind of cool. I'm dressed up in this crazy costume, and I'm, you know, doing a fight scene and whatnot with one of my oldest coaches and friends, Troy Pickering. So, yeah, and I was in the Purge 3, just little stuff like that I love to do. I'm not doing anything special in it, just enjoying being on a set, because it's just all I want to do is watch movies if I'm not training. So,
man, it's so crazy. There's so many people that were in Here Comes the Boom. Where can people find you in that movie? I got to go back and look for you now.
Oh, that honestly, that's how a lot of us got to know each other. Like Nick Newell and Zakelli and Greg Rebello, Pedro, Calvin, I think was on there. Man, there's so many of us that were out there. It was crazy, but we all were pretty much just behind the cage when we're like the ballers in the front row whenever the main fight at the MGM Grand Garden was happening, and they recreated that at the Saugus Arena. So that's all it was. We were just pretty much enjoying them fake a fight, and it was awesome.
We also have a question from Scott in the Pure Evil MMA chat room. Wants to know how you're healing up with, the big incident that happened not too long ago. You want an aerial show to talk about it. What happened at the gym with Joe and you when the whole incident happened with the testicle? How's that healing up?
I think it's all healed up. It's still a sensitive area for sure, but I have stitches in there forever now. So that's basically. That's never going to change. They're going to be on there, or they're going to be in there for the rest of my life. And that just might be the reason it's sensitive. But I was checked out. I had my my follow-up, and I had testosterone checked out and everything, and it seems to be good.
So you're a part of the lightweight division in the UFC. This is literally my favorite division, especially this year. There's been a lot of big news. Obviously, Khabib Nurmagomedov beating Conor McGregor, but I think one of the bigger stories lately is Ben Askren getting signed. How do you think he's going to do? There's rumors that he's going to be fighting Robbie Lawler. How do you think he would do against Robbie?
I think he'll beat Robbie Lawler. I just think it's interesting because Robbie is pretty good at shutting down wrestling, I'm pretty sure, but he's just, Askren's a beast. They're both beasts. It's so hard to predict all these fights, but I take Askren. I feel like he's had a bit of a layoff since his last one, but I don't remember the last time that Robbie Lawler fought either. And he's been in so many barn burners. Like the power will still be there, but I don't know how he'll do if Askren starts taking him down and ragdolling him around a little bit. But yeah, that's why they fight. I take Askren on that fight.
And this was a big week because they made a trade, ONE FC and the UFC. Is that something that you would like to see more organizations do, is do the trades?
I mean, I love it if the fighters love it. If the fighters want to be traded, then yeah, that's awesome. Good for them. But if the fighters are happy where they're at and they're, these guys are playing God with the puppet strings, just pushing them wherever they want them, I don't like that. So I would have to know more about each situation, but I'm all for it if everybody's happy. Awesome.
And obviously,
if I were personally, like, if I woke up and I saw an article saying that I was fighting for ONE FC, I'd be pretty upset because that's not who I want to fight for. I want to be with the UFC. It's like when I woke up and I saw a post saying that I was fighting Claudio Puelles, who was my original opponent, and I had no clue. It's like kind of a shocking thing that you kind of want to be, part of the whole process. But it is what it is. How
does that happen? How do we find out before you do? And we see this a lot in inside MMA, where media will find out and we'll be tweeting about it, and you guys don't even know yet. How does that happen? How did it happen to you this time? Like, how did this go about?
Yeah, so basically I got a notification, I don't know what it was, Twitter or something, and it said that I was fighting Claudio Puelles in Argentina November 17th. And I called my manager, Tyson Chartier of Top Game Management, who also manages like Bochniak, Rodriguez, Cater, Font, all those great guys, and then some of the amazing local guys that aren't at the UFC level yet, but talent-wise, they're there. I talked to him, and he just said, what I'll do is talk to Sean Shelby. And so he talked to Shelby, and Shelby said that they offered it to Puelles, but he hadn't accepted it yet. But clearly, Puelles went to a some source that leaked the information, even though I wasn't even offered the fight. And we basically were just like, all right, well, we'll take the fight, but what we want to do is renegotiate contract. You're going to make us go to Argentina and fight for such and such. We want a new 4-fight contract instead of closing out our 4-fight contract. So that's what Tyson got for me, which is huge. Rather than being on my last fight, I'm on my first fight. Obviously, no matter what, you still need to do good, but the last thing you want to do is be a free agent with UFC, with how tough it is to just keep a job.
And that's got to be such a good feeling now that, you got a new 4-fight contract. Did you kind of celebrate after that? That's huge news. 4 fights inside the UFC. You're going to be around for the next, 2 years or so. And there's so many great matchups that you can have inside the lightweight division. So my question to you is, not did you party, but do you think that you'll be inside the top 15 by that 4th fight? Are you aiming for that?
I mean, 100%. If I do everything right, I couldn't see myself not, because that would put me at 5 fights in a row. That's something that is, it's very hard to do in the UFC. Right now I'm looking to just even my record in the UFC. I had the win in the Dana White show, which is kind of like a partial victory as far as a UFC fight in my eyes, because I fought in front of Dana and whatnot. But it obviously doesn't count towards my UFC record. My first fight, I lost unanimous decision. The second fight was a split decision where I had won the first half of the first round, and then I got reversed in a takedown. And that, I ended up on bottom for the second half, kind of stalled out. The third round, I definitely won. The second round, I definitely lost. And it was kind of just how they were judging. So the 2 of them gave it to him in the first round. 1 of them gave it to me. So, I could be looking at, a 2-1 record going for 3-1. So it's just, you can't get caught up in where you'll be after 4 more fights, because if I don't do well this fight, being 1-3 is horrible in comparison to 2-2. So I got to get this job done, and then we'll move on from there. But number 1 is take out Jesus Pineda and go celebrate in Argentina.
What a feeling you must have had when you finally got that amazing TKO finish in your last fight, man. How did that feel?
It was incredible. There's nothing that feels like that on this planet aside from finishing a fight inside the UFC cage.
Yeah.
I begged for the fight. I asked Shelby and tagged everyone and made all these videos I tried to get to go viral, asking everybody to share them, to help me get that next fight, because I was pretty much 13 months of training without knowing if I'd have a job in the UFC, and I just kept begging for a fight, and then finally I got a 30-day notice fight, and I kept asking for it, so I had to prove that I wasn't just full of it, and I got the job done in 2 minutes inside the octagon, which is no easy task against anybody that makes it there, so
and
I was happy.
The UFC loves not just people that go in there and get finishes or win their fights, but they're also into people that are great on social media, man. You're at 35.5K followers. How many followers did you get since coming to the UFC? I mean, that's a lot, man. There's almost 40,000 people following you on Instagram.
Yeah, no, I think it's all the pig. That's why I probably won't give her own Instagram.
That's great, man. So before we let you go, I got one more question for you. What can people expect when they tune in on the 17th to watch you fight?
This guy's a finisher. I'm a finisher. Every finish that I've had is inside the first round, 6 first-round finishes. He puts pressure on people and he breaks them, so I'm going to stand right in front of him, and, we're going to see who crumbles first. Somebody's getting finished, and my goal is to get my hand raised through hell or high water in Argentina, not going there to come home a loser.
Devin, I want to thank you so much for joining us again here on Pure Evil MMA. We wish you best of skill and a safe travels out all the way up to Argentina, man. So thank you so much for coming on Pure Evil MMA. What we like to do at this point is hand the imaginary microphone over to you. If you have any shout-out sponsors, if you have sponsors anymore, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So, sorry, I have another interview supposed to start one I just noticed. I got a lot of sponsors, but they all know who they are. You know, a shout out to the gyms that I train out at my own gym, Nostos MMA, Port City BJJ, Lozon MMA, Skill of Strength. It's been huge. Train Main Fitness, Ben McCrillis has been coming down. He's coming to Argentina with me. Phenomenal world-class wrestler. So yeah, all those guys, and then my normal sponsors, Straight Jacket and Drink Flow are two huge sponsors for me. But yeah, Coyote River, Hemp Co. is amazing, and yeah, there's a lot of them. You know, tell everyone to get one of the last shirts that we have, and they'll see all the sponsors.
Devin, we're rooting for you. We wish you best of skill. Have fun with your next interview, and God bless.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Here you guys go, Devin Powell. And I want to thank you guys for giving us some questions for him as well inside the Pure Evil MMA chat room. Shout out to our girl Misty, and shout out to our dude Scott. It means a lot, guys. I didn't even know that he was in a movie. How cool is that? That he's going to be in a Mark Wahlberg movie. I mean, there's a scene of him sparring Mickey Gall. I had no idea that he was even in Here Comes the Boom. You know how many people are in that movie? It blows my mind. So make sure to give Devin a follow on his Instagram page, which if you're listening here on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Podomatic, Player FM, Spotify, wherever you are listening to this, go hop over to the YouTube channel. And you can see when I do these interviews, we're looking through the Instagram pages. You can see my ugly mug, but make sure to give Devin a follow at Devin Powell _ Nostos MMA. That's DEVINPOWELL _ NOSTOS MMA. Get them up to 40,000 followers. And guys, make sure to subscribe down below here on YouTube, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher. We've been killing it, especially on Podbean. I woke up this morning, 200 downloads. The day before that, almost 200 downloads. I woke up today. I mean, we had 500 downloads in the past 4 days just on Podbean alone. Trending popular on iTunes since 2017. You know what it is here at Pure Evil MMA, and it means so much. But I would really like for the people listening to the podcast to hop over to the YouTube channel. There's so much more content other than just the podcast. I'm doing fight companions. I'm doing reaction videos to some of the Instagram stories that I actually did last night for Cage Titans. It's just a blast. Hop over there. We're trying to reach 1K. Hit subscribe. Hit that little notification bell, because for some reason when we go live, YouTube doesn't like to let the subscribers know unless you hit that little bell. Makes no sense. Let my freaking subscribers know when I go live. If they're subscribed to the YouTube channel, why do they have to click the little bell too? Makes no sense. So if you guys are out there and like, why am I missing these live streams, this and that? That's why. You got to hit the notification bell. Guys, I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, MyMMAnews.com. White knuckles to the end. Behave yourselves.
All the freaks coming out when the sun down. Hating on it, I don't give a fuck now. Bad little bitch with a tongue out. Told her go along, this a touchdown. Do this for the city and the state. Bustin' better bring me to the safe. Want it right now, I ain't really tryna wait. Got me on trial, but I'm beating that case. Motherfucker, say it in my face. Say it in my face, motherfucker, go and
say it in my face.